So the first bill we have up today is House File 3812, Representative Noor, Child Protection DHS Policy Bill. This bill was laid over at a committee on March 10th. The purpose was to give the author, DHS, and outside advocate agencies to get together and try and reach some consensus language. We're going to take up HF 3812 today. Representative Noor moves that House File 3812 be recommended to be re-referred to HHS Policy Committee. And we have the DE A20-0738 author amendment. Representative Noor, now that we have the bill before us again, you move that A20-0378 amendment. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chair. But do we need to take the bill from the table from the last session?
So that's a great question. Ms. Ganani, going back to what we did, are we simply taking this bill off the table? That I laid it on the table, is that right? Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. It's been publicly noticed, Representative Noor, and it is in our possession. I will make that motion to take it off the table in case that's what we need to do, because I don't have those other minutes before us. So all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. The bill is now before us again. So Representative Noor, I will move your A20-0738 amendment. Why don't you go ahead?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. This is the bill that we discussed a few weeks ago, and we have reached an agreement, and we do have an amendment that puts the bill in the shape that all the stakeholders have agreed on. So this bill enables the tribes and counties to enter into written agreement that will allow for a transfer of responsibility for the screening, an initial response to a child maltreatment report regarding an Indian child who is a resident of the county where the Indian child's reservation is located from the county to the tribe. This bill authorizes unaccompanied minors experiencing homelessness to consent to homeless youth services and/or services for sexually exploited youth. Currently, homeless youth service providers and providers of service for sexually exploited youth do not have legal authority to provide services to minors without parental consent. Parents and guardians retain legal custody over their minor children. This does not infringe upon their legal custody. Child Protective Services, through court orders, can also exercise legal and physical custody over minors. This bill contains provisions that will bring the state into compliance with federal Family First Prevention Services Act before it's effective nationwide on October 21, 2021. There have been significant.
So Representative Noor, you're not speaking to just the amendment now, is that right?
I'm speaking to the amendment of the bill because it's a DE, Mr. Chair.
You are, okay. Excellent, thank you.
The bill's provisions related to QRTPs, which the Deputy Assistant Commissioner will cover. So this is the amendment that we have in front of you. I just wanted to ask for your support to get the bill in the shape that we want.
Great. Any discussion from members of the committee? Any discussion? Okay, then we're going to adopt the A20-0738 amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say no. The motion prevails. The amendment is adopted. So we have someone, I believe, who's interested in testifying in support of the bill as amended. Lisa Bailey, Deputy Assistant Commissioner, DHS. Ms. Bailey, are you here?
I am. Thank you.
Excellent.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee for allowing us to come back. I won't go over everything again as we had already addressed this earlier, but just want to thank you for the opportunity. We worked with members of NAMI and
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Can you go ahead and just begin by introducing yourself for the record again, too, please?
I apologize. Yes, Lisa Bailey. I'm the Deputy Assistant Commissioner for Children and Family Services at the Department of Human Services.
Thank you. Please proceed.
And thank you, Mr. Chair. And if you'll recall, when we met last in March, there were concerns raised by NAMI and Aspire Minnesota, in particular about the portion addressing the qualified residential treatment programs. Since that date, we have met with both of those groups and come up with an agreement, essentially, which removes the voluntary foster care for treatment provisions under Chapter 260D entirely from the portion of the bill that we're working on here. And if you'll recall, the whole reason for bringing this forward was to bring the state into compliance with the Federal Family First Prevention Services Act. And by removing this, it gives the department, counties, tribes, and advocates an opportunity to meet with stakeholders over the next year, which is, we have another year and a half or so before Family First goes into effect, to consider how we can address their concerns and also to consider the funding options, because once we remove those voluntary treatment options, placement options from that portion of the bill, they're no longer eligible for Family First or the federal 4E reimbursement funding. So this will give us an opportunity to move forward with implementing the Family First portions of the Act and at the same time to address the concerns of the stakeholders.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Bailey, for those comments and for working with the stakeholder groups to help make this happen as well, too. Any other questions or comments from any other members of the committee? I'm not seeing any on my list. So were there any closing comments that you wanted to make, Representative Noor, to House File 3812 as amended?
No further comments, Mr. Chair. I will ask for your support to send this bill. I believe it goes to HHS policy before it goes to the General Register. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
That's correct. The motion is to move it to HHS policy, Representative Noor. So we will vote on that motion then. The clerk will take the roll to referring House File 3812 as amended to HHS policy. Chair votes aye.
Moeller.
Aye.
Representative Scott.
Aye.
Representative Albright.
Aye.
Representative Barr.
Aye.
Representative Cantrell.
Aye.
Representative Carlson.
Aye.
Representative Considine.
Aye.
Representative Hassan.
Aye.
Representative Herr.
Aye.
Representative Johnson.
Aye.
Representative Liebling.
Aye.
Representative Lucero.
Yes.
Representative Mariani.
Yes.
Representative Noor.
Yes.
Representative O'Neill.
Aye.
Representative Robbins.
Aye.
Representative Xiong.
Yes.
On a vote of 17 ayes and 0 nays, the motion prevails. The bill as amended is referred to HHS Finance. Thank you very much, Representative Noor, and nice job on working that out. Oh, it's not? I hear you shaking your head.
Policy.
It's referred to HHS policy. Thank you for that correction. Thank you, Representative Noor.